This video is 6 years old. That means for well over a decade, you guys have been going through the same exact thing. So today I want to unpack some of these things and I want to go over some different hair shaft and hair follicle disorders. I also want to talk about the fact that even though you are a black woman, you can have long and beautiful hair without having 50 million kabillion steps. And today we are going to talk about that. But remember that you shouldn't watch this video if you are sensitive. But I want to welcome you to the Simple Life where we have new videos every single week. So make sure that you go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Right, clicking that bell notification so you're notified every time I post another video, because sometimes YouTube be hating on your girl. So I'm doing videos like this to trigger that algorithm. All right, now this video is 6 years old. 6 years old. So I am no longer behind the chair, and in this video I'm gonna unpack why. But first, let's get into what's going on. She already had a Olaplex treatment, and at the time I had my own product line to treat a lot of the different hair shaft disorders that were going on. But let's break down what the silk press process is. The hair shaft is made of a protein called keratin, and this keratin is formatted with a polypeptide chain. And within these polypeptide chains, there are three bonds: a salt bond, a hydrogen bond, and a disulfide bond. And the one that is a temporary bond is the salt bond and the hydrogen bond. And the hydrogen bond is the one that is temporarily broken by water. So when I wet my client's hair, I now have the ability to take her hair from alpha keratin, which is her hair when it is wet, unstretched, right? And to take it to beta keratin, which is the new state that her hair is going to be in until I wet it. Now, as a professional, it is my responsibility to take the hair from alpha keratin to beta keratin safely without disrupting her permanent bonds, which are the disulfide bonds. I really hope that this makes sense, right? And the reason that I'm breaking it down like this is because I need you guys to understand that even though YouTube has made it able for people to get a really deep inside look into the hair industry, right? And because we are equals, right, and me being a woman and you being a woman, it doesn't mean that anybody who picks up a flat iron knows how to use a flat iron, right? It is really important that you understand why you're using a flat iron, what it is doing to the hair shaft, and when you should and should not use it. This is where your porosity matters, right? Because in knowing what level of porosity you have, you would know what temperature to set your flat irons to, right? But if you are a person who went to cosmetology school and you remember what you learned in cosmetology school, because let's be honest, most of us don't remember nothing from high school. Most of us took Spanish for 4 years and all you know how to do is count to five. You get to cinco. Okay, that's it. And I don't even know if that's five. I'm talking about myself. So this is something that I want everybody to think about. And as it pertains to using a flat iron, when you know what you're doing, you know how to use a flat iron properly. For example, as you guys watch me use this flat iron, you will get the impression that I'm using the same level of tension from her roots to her ends. Well, that's not true. I'm using a different level of tension from roots to ends, but you don't know that because all you see is what I'm doing, but you can't visually like feel or understand the technique, right? So now we can see she has a hair shaft disorder. It is time for us to talk about it. When I did hair professionally, I had a private studio where my clients had consultations. I was not a regular cosmetologist. You could not just randomly call me and book an appointment. You had to book them long in advance, and you had to have a consultation before you booked, because we discussed and addressed the hair shaft disorder that you had and the path of treatment that we were going to give. So that is why sometimes when I'm here on YouTube, I'm just really not entertaining people who have their, in my opinion, because no, when I was behind the chair, I was a hair shaft disorder specialist. That's what I did for a living for over a decade, right? And here on the screen, you guys can read it for yourself, but this is a beauty who is saying that when she had a licensed cosmetologist, she never had a bunch of hair products put on her hair. It would be a leave-in conditioner and whatever she used as a heat protectant, a serum at the end if she needed it, and that is it. And that's something that I really want you guys to pay attention to, because at this point, the only thing that is on her hair is leave-in conditioner and heat protectant from the flat iron. So if you rewind it back yourself, you can clearly see that her hair looked really, really dry when she came in. Not to mention, her hair was saturated in oil when she came in, but it looked dry. So these are the things that I really want you to think about, because your hair shaft is coated. It's supposed to be coated in its natural oils, which is sebum. And sebum actually is not an oil. It is a waxy substance, Look in the video linked in the description box below where I share with you guys people that are my 7-day challenge that are noticing sebum production in less than 3 days. And they've never seen oil come out of their scalp before where they can see it in less than 3 days. This is something that I really, really, really want you guys to think about. Because when it comes to the things that you do on a regular basis, it ends up suffocating the hair shaft, making it weaker and weaker and weaker and more prone to breakage. This is why if you go 10 years without heat on your hair, you think your hair is going to be healthy, but then you straighten it out, and not only is it see-through, but then the next time you try to wet it again, your curls don't revert back. That's not because flat irons are bad. That's because you've had a hair shaft disorder from years and years of mechanical damage. Because I want you to think about something, you guys. When it comes to everybody going natural and everything that surrounded that, I want you guys to really think about the fact that you all avoided heat damage, but you forgot or didn't understand that there are 2 other forms of damage to the hair shaft: heat damage, chemical damage, and mechanical damage. So everybody traded in their heat damage for mechanical damage. Mechanical damage is damage that happens to the hair shaft from an external source. So from you combing your hair constantly wet, you end up breaking the hair shaft down. And again, I have so many videos on that. Leave it in the comments below if you guys want me to do a full video on hair shaft disorders. I already have 2 videos on hair shaft disorders, so check the playlist in the description box below so you can see that video, because I have so much content here on my channel surrounding that. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all, for like the last 12 years, the hair industry has been dominated by team natural content. And if you don't want to create that type of content, or if you are not, or if you're against it, that's not something that the algorithm is pushing, because the algorithm is there for the viewer and it understands that the viewer doesn't want to see that. So if you guys don't want to see that, they're not going to recommend my videos to you, and it's just that simple. I want you guys again to notice the shine and the luster in her hair. Her hair is not like weighed down with products. She does not have shine and luster in her hair because I used a certain type of serum. She does not have shine and luster in her hair because I used a certain type of product. No. She has shine in her hair because I understand the way that the human scalp works, and I understand the way that the human hair shaft works. And I understand that if it's not blocked, the natural sebum that is in your scalp, coming out of your scalp the second that you wash your hair, right? If I understand how to make sure that I don't block that flow, then my client's hair is shiny, beautiful, and full of body. But if I was to put any oil on her hair, especially with her density, right? So if I was to put any type of oil, any type of shine spray, any type of even oil sheen, any type of serum on her hair would be a shrinky mess because she has like a finer density. So any type of oil would weigh it down. These are things that I want you guys to think about when you are going in to see a professional cosmetologist. And don't just take my word for it. Go watch any silk press video. You will not see them add 50 million hair products. You just won't. So here's another client from another day. You guys, this was my life. Okay, this was my life every day, all day. And the hardest part about it was that most of the clients that would sit in my chair, I would have to see them again because they wouldn't listen to me. They would be coming to see me for maybe like 3 months out of the year, and those other months they're like, oh no, I'm doing my wash and goes, I'm doing my twist styles, I'm doing my wash and goes, blah blah blah. And then they would come see me like, saying I'm ready for a trim, and but I do have some pain and some burning in my scalp that I want you to check out. And then when they would sit in my chair, we would do a scalp assessment. Almost every time they had different forms of folliculitis, seborrheic dermatitis, because of all the different oils and butters they would put in their hair. So I would recommend them a shampoo and conditioner like this. This is my favorite one. It is formulated by a dermatologist and is for people who suffer from seborrheic dermatitis and dandruff, scalp psoriasis, and a couple of other different things. But if you have a overgrowth of bacteria, it leads to things like that on the screen, and that is called folliculitis. I have a video on that if you want to learn again a little bit more about hair shaft disorders and scalp disorders, follicle disorders. Then check the links in the description box below, because I'm telling you guys, most of the time when you ask me a question, I already have a video for it. I'm willing to guarantee you guys, any question you have, I probably already have a video for it. But again, it wasn't something that was going with the beat of the drum that's going across YouTube, right? Which is fine. I don't really care. So again, right now what I'm doing is brown brushing her hair. Now, people who don't understand the technique, or people who don't understand how to connect the science of hair to repairing the hair shaft, or people who don't understand hair shaft disorders wouldn't understand this. And it may look rough to you because this video was originally over an hour and I got it down to about 15 minutes, so it's doubled in speed. But I don't use a whole lot of tension. My clients are not in pain in any way, shape, or form. But I want you to pay attention to the size of the brush, and I also want you to pay attention to how small the bristles on the brush are. It is like a hair shaft massage for my client's hair shaft. It is not rough in any way, shape, or form. And there is a certain technique that I have that allows me to glide the brush through their hair. It is not pulling or tugging in any way, shape, or form. On YouTube, you now have the ability to zoom in, so try it. Go ahead, zoom in really quick. Look. Zoom in, hurry up. Wow, yeah, zoom in, baby. And when you zoom in, you can clearly see that there is no hair in my brush. I am not pulling or tugging on her hair at all. And notice how much shine she has right now before I do anything to her hair. Right now, the only thing that is on her hair is a leave-in conditioner. There is no pressing cream, no grease, no oil, no serum, nothing. Leave-in conditioner, that is it. And again, I want you to watch my last video where I put on the screen showing you that your leave-in conditioner is your heat protectant for your blow dryer. Those are all of the properties that you need. The only thing you need for the leave-in conditioner is for it to protect against UV radiation. You need it to protect against the heat of the blow dryer. You need it to be able to help you detangle your hair. Even though your hair should already be detangled, it needs to be something that helps you to maintain the elasticity of your hair as you reset these bonds. That's it, and that's all. But the more product you layer on top of the hair, the heavier you make the hair. And whenever you see somebody get their hair straightened and or with curls in it or anything, even if you wear your natural curls, right? It's the weightless bounce. The only time you can have bouncy hair is if the hair is weightless. The heavier the hair is, the less bouncy it's going to be. So that's why you don't add a bunch of product. When I was in cosmetology school, I had to learn that. I'm like, oh my God, why isn't the hair weightless? And it was a girl there, a woman there, her name was Anne, and we were in cosmetology school at the same time, but she was about to graduate. Like, I think she was only there for like 2 months before she graduated when I got to the school and when I got on the floor. I'm sorry. And I remember I was like, why is my stuff so like, why does it look so stringy? And she was like, it don't look stringy, but she was like, you just adding too much oil. Like, all you have to add is a leave-in conditioner. I'm like, what? She's like, just try it. I did it, never look back. So you can see the difference. I tell everybody in the 7-day challenge, why don't you just get a mannequin? Just get a mannequin that resembles your natural hair texture. I'll leave a link in the description box below for my favorite one for curly hair. But get one that matches your texture and practice on it. Try that your way and then try this way. Try the pro way and then see which one you feel like works best for you. But again, I want you, even though this video is also 6 years old, I want you to look at how much shine she has in her hair. Just simply from leave-in conditioner. And again, the second that you wash your hair, you still have sebum coming out. The same way that you can go right now and wash your face, but if you have oily skin like I do, give it 2 hours and your nose gonna be oily again. You don't need days and days and days and days for sebum to come out of the follicle, baby. You don't. You just have to make sure that your scalp is clear and that you're not oiling the scalp and greasing the scalp and leaving the hair wet. Because remember, the natural sebum that is coming out of your scalp is a waxy substance. And this is not a rhetorical question. Somebody answer for me in the comments. What happens when you put wax and water together? Is the wax going to automatically emulsify itself into the water, or is the water going to cause the wax to repel it? They repel each other. So these are things that I really want you to think about. The things that I'm combing out of her head right now is matting, because she would do wash and goes, and then when her wash and go got old, she would just put her hair like in braids and put like coconut oil and stuff on it and like put wigs and stuff like that on. So when she came into her appointment with me, her hair was matted, but I didn't record that part because I didn't record that part. Yeah, and I could be honest and say that it was very frustrating, and she knew that, so I don't have a problem telling y'all that, because I would do 13 people in a day, and you don't account for an extra 45 minutes to get knots and tangles out of somebody's hair, right? You don't allot for that amount of time, and thank God it didn't take her that long, because she didn't have any matting or any tangling in the back. Really, it was mainly like in the front, in that one spot. It was one specific spot, thank God. So she didn't lose a lot of hair, if any. I don't think she lost any hair through it. She didn't lose any hair throughout the matting. You just saw it. She didn't lose any. I have a pretty good technique for removing knots and tangles from the hair. But anyway, so at this point we are finishing up her silk press, and now I am able to really assess her hair shaft, because naturally curly hair swells wherever it's wet, and when hair is swollen you cannot see the true density. I cannot assess a hair shaft disorder on swollen hair, right? And it's the same thing for naturally straight hair, right? If you are a person who has naturally straight hair and you come in for a consultation with me, I'm not going to do a consultation on you when your hair is in a swollen state. And naturally straight hair is swollen when it's dry. So after I blow out, I can assess your hair shaft if you have a naturally straight hair. Naturally straight hair, I have to do my hair shaft assessment on their hair wet, because if I do it when it's dry, it's swollen. So we're the same but opposites. So then that's not the same. And that's why I need you to understand the science of hair, little buddy. We can't do it the same, little buddy. We can't do it the same, buddy. So at this point, again, I only did what my clients allowed me to do. And at this point, this client in particular was not there for it. She barely wanted to get rid of what the initial thing that we cut, but you guys saw it, and that was all that we could really get rid of. And I know you guys have seen this. You've seen all of these videos before. I'm no longer behind the chair, but I do notice that in all of these videos, like this video that you're watching, I wasn't even talking in this video. It was all sound. It was just music, because I didn't originally get into the hair industry to do reparative work. And it sounds like I'm stumbling over my words, because I don't want to sound like I'm being disrespectful or like I'm shaming anybody or comparing clients or anything like that. But what you're seeing on the screen right now is still going on today. This video with me doing hair was in was 6 years ago. But right now the picture is right now, present day, 2024. So I need y'all to understand, I haven't been doing hair for 6 years, and I left the industry because I couldn't take this anymore. It was like, this is not why I started doing hair. And client after client after client after client after client would be in this situation, and I would fix it, but then when they came back for their next appointment, it would be exactly the same, like I didn't do anything. And I know that normally whenever I say this, I get so many people that are like, oh, well, that's what you signed up for. When you went to cosmetology school, you knew that this is how it was gonna be. But y'all, I didn't. And I just hope that right now I can have a transparent moment with you and give you a visual of what I mean. When I went to cosmetology school, the thing that made me fall in love with hair, this is what I saw in my mind. Not what you're seeing on the screen, right? Even though I'm so grateful that I've been able to like help so many women repair it, right? But it's not what made me fall in love. I fell in love with hair watching women whose hair looked like this. And I said, oh my God, like I have to do this. I have to do this. This was a client that I had for a minute. This is her natural hair, and she wanted to cut it all off in a bob, right? But I said, oh my God, wait, please, no, don't cut it yet. Can I color it first, please? Can we color it first? Oh my God. But she had so much hair. She knew exactly what to do. Like, everything that I'm telling you to do is her exact patterns and routines. Her hair grows like crazy. She don't walk around with wet hair. She blow dries her hair once a week. Like, it's, y'all, like literally everything that I tell y'all to do, this person does, this woman does. But again, I was like, wait, no, like, let me color it first. And she's like, no, let's do a short bob first. I'm like, come on, bro. Because I was trying to color it, and I thought that if I colored it and it was still like extremely healthy after I colored it, I would be able to talk her out of like cutting it. But she was like, no, girl. So I was like, okay, forget it. And then she agreed to be my muse and let me like play with her color. She didn't have any thing that she didn't want to do. She was down for everything. So I was able to do like this really beautiful creative color on her. And this is what I fell in love with. When I wanted to go to cosmetology school, it was because I was in Tallahassee, Florida, and I was watching the hairstylists that I had out there do this. Like, she was doing black women's hair. Every girl, every woman that sat in her chair, hair looked just like this. Every last one. So, and like some of them hair would be a little shorter, but everybody's hair looked just like this. And I was like, oh my God, I want to do this. And I remember she had a short pixie cut because she was like, yeah, I got time to do that hair, but by the time I get home, I'm beat. And it just inspired me so much. And that's what I wanted to do. So even though I had some clients who had hair like hers, or who trusted me to let them get to this place, right? It was, I was outnumbered. Unfortunately, the good did not outweigh the bad. And not only did you have clients, that didn't want to listen, you also had to fight with the industry itself, right? With product lines and stuff. The industry itself was fighting against the professional cosmetologists and making a whole bunch of products with oils and butters. Again, the only product in this woman's hair is leave-in conditioner and the heat protectant that I use when I was flat ironing and curling her hair. That is it, and that is all. And then there is a little itty bitty dime size, yes, dime size, even though her hair is long, a dime size amount of serum on my hands, emulsified, and then all throughout her hair. That is all that is on her hair. That is it, and that's all. And for that reason, her hair is going to last. It's not going to be stringy in a week. It's not going to look like it needs to be washed in a week. And this is, again, what made me fall in love with hair, like being able to create this. And it is, for me, it was an art form, right, where the hair was a blank canvas and I was able to create, but it turned into something else. And it went from me creating to me constantly being a repair guy and feeling kind of like a maid or a janitor, and only feeling like a maid or a janitor because some of my clients would trust me to fix these problems, but they wouldn't trust me enough to make sure the problems never happened again. So like a haircut like this, even though it looked good from a vanity metric, I knew that it was only a give or take a good 6 to 7 months before it splits all the way up to the hair shaft, and then in that case it's going to start, I mean, all the way up to the roots, and then at that point we're going to run into different follicle disorders because your hair shaft is still attached to your hair's follicle. And so if it keeps splitting all the way down through the pore, down through the follicle, then eventually you'll have some damage within the hair's follicle. And these are the things that I had to step outside of the industry to create a different type of business so that I could really, really do what I love. I can't lie and say that I don't miss creating in the art form that is hair, but the piece feels a little better, and now I can teach from the outside. So I hope that helped break things down a little bit more. Stay tuned for the next video on ashwagandha and how to heal your telogen effluvium. Make sure that you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe, and write a comment. What did you think? Bye.